Hello and welcome to the Spargur Yarn Crafts podcast channel. My name is WSpargur. I am your host. I am coming to you from Henderson, Nevada, where I live with my two dogs, Princess and Duchess, and my roommate Delilah and her dog Duke. There are a lot of us in this house now, and I'm having a great time. If you are new to the channel, thank you so much for checking me out and coming by to see what I post here. This is just a podcast about knitting, crocheting, and other fiber arts, as well as my dyeing and sometimes some other yarny related things that we get up to. So if you are new, thank you for coming. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like this video. And if you have not followed me before, you can find all of my social media links in the video description box below. You'll also find timestamps so that you can jump around to the different parts of the podcast that you may be interested in. And towards the end of the podcast, we do a giveaway because I like to do that as often as possible on this channel because that's my way to give back to you guys for saying thanks for your support. So if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and seeing what I have to show you. I actually do have a lot of really cool things to show you, some things that I have finally finished that I've been working on for a while, so I'm really excited to bring those to you. If you haven't been here before, we go right on into the Yarny related things, and if I have any life updates, those will be at the end. Though this time I do not have any life updates for you. Just most of the things going on in my life are yarn related, so we'll be catching up on those things later in the podcast. So everybody sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, maybe some of your knitting, crocheting, weaving, spinning, whatever it is that you may be doing, and let's get on with the show. So we have some works in progress, just a couple of things to show you that I am very excited about them because, well, I've actually done some work on them. It's been a little bit since we've seen some of these, but I'm really excited about it. So the first thing that I have to show is, oh, by the way, before I show the project, look at this cool bag. Isn't this, a friend gave this to me. They handmade it. It's a really cool style of bag. I don't know, it's really interesting. Anyway. So what I'm working on is a tangled mess right now. It is a pair of socks. I like to have a pair of socks on the needles as often as possible. It's a great portable project, things I can take just about anywhere and work on. This is using a US, I usually say 2, but sometimes I'm wrong. Nope, US 2.75 millimeter. I am using a 100% Corriedale yarn from Skano. I love Skano. I've actually met April and her husband. They are incredible, incredible people. If you are familiar with Skano and you just heard me say that I've met April and her husband, Bjorn, or whatever his name was, I don't know. The two people who owned it previously have since sold the company, so the people who own it now is a woman named April and her husband, and they are out of Southern California. So I am doing just a very basic sock. I did my, started with the Judy's Magic cast on, increase until I got to my number of stitches. I'm doing a total of 72 stitches, and it's all stockinette until I get to the heel, and I will do a German short row heel, and then I will continue up the cuff, or the leg, and then the cuff. So that's really all that's going on here. I am using magic loop because I have decided that I love magic loop. It really was a struggle. For those of you who have been with me for a while, you will know that I used to curse magic loop, but now I don't. I like it, and I am enjoying using that. And this is kind of the project I knit on. On Sundays, I go to a church where I play in the praise band and sing. I play flute and saxophone, sometimes piano if they need that, or organ, kind of whatever they need. It's basically a job, you know, it's a paid job, so when we're not on stage, this is what I'm doing, is I'm knitting. So that's really all that there is to show on that, but I've gotten a little bit of progress on it, made probably about 2 inches worth of work on it, but that's because it's been kind of sitting on the back burner while I finish some larger projects that I've been just dying to get done. So now that my larger projects are done, this is going to go back to being a priority. And behind me, Duke has decided that he's going to lay on all the projects. So that's fun. Put this back in the bag. This cable doesn't want to cooperate. Okay. The second project is one I haven't shown. It's been a while. It's been a really long time. I don't remember how long it's been. But if for those of you who have subscribed before or watched the channel before, you remember that I dye a exclusive colorway for Mad Knitter's Yarn here in Las Vegas / Henderson called Vegas Born, and it's the color of the Vegas Golden Knights hockey team. And I was trying to work on something with that yarn, and I just kept putting it off. So I finally pulled some things out. It's a kind of textured bandana cowl. There's garter, there's stockinette, there's some eyelets, there's an area here that's 2x2 ribbing. I don't know how well you can see that. It's something that you can definitely see more of in person, but because of the variegations of the colorway, I do intend to re-knit this in a solid color so that you can kind of see the pattern a little more, because it's definitely more about texture than color. But I wanted something that would look nice and be interesting and fun to knit for the people who buy the colorway at the shop, because right now a lot of people are buying it and they're like, well, I don't know what to make with it. So I thought I would try and write out a pattern. The dumb thing is, I forgot to write down anything I was doing on this, so when I go to knit this the second time, that's when I'm going to be writing all of this down. But until then, I am going to continue just kind of knitting on this to get some progress done on it. I have this much yarn left, and that's in one skein. I have another skein of it. Actually, I think it's behind me on that shelf. But this was not a full 100 gram skein when I started. I think this was only 75 grams. I just shoved it back in there, but this is being knit on what I believe is US 5s. So I think those are the only other needles missing. Yeah, US 5s, 3.75 millimeter. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now, but should be fun. Those are really the two works in progress I have right now, other than my cloak. If you are new to the channel, I'm not going to show my cloak. It's getting so big, it's just really hard to maneuver. But I am working on it. I have about 10 rows of my middle color to go, and then I'll switch to black. So when I switch to the third color, I will then show it again, because right now, because of how big it is, you're not really going to be able to see the progress as well. And also, it's big, it's heavy, so it's in its spot where I work on it, and it'll stay there until I actually until I switch to the third color, and then I will show it again. But until then, the cloak is still going. It's worked on a 5.5 millimeter hook, which is a US I believe I9. Is that? I don't know. Again, crochet hooks, millimeters. Needles, US sizes. Don't know how that works in my brain, but it does. So 5.5 millimeter hook, it's all double crochet, it's about 250 stitches wide right now after doing all the increases, so I do have to finish the middle color, do the bottom color, and then I do have to add a hood and a border, so we're looking at, if I put in the work that I'm hoping that I'll be able to put in here in the next month or so, I'm hoping I will have it done by Christmas. That's if I do some really good work on it. But in the meantime, it is being worked on. I'm really proud of that, and really, it's down about 3 inches past my fingertips now, which is exciting. So that's a good kind of breathing point. So we'll be continuing to work on that, and so be looking forward to seeing that on a future podcast. But with that being said, let me show you some of the things that I have finished. Okay, so I am so excited about the things that I have completed. The first one I'm going to show you, though, is kind of an instant gratification project, because I saw the pattern and I really liked it, and I kind of forgot what it's called, but I have my phone in my pocket. I think I can look it up. Anyway, I made this cute little yarn cup cozy. It's diagonal, so it's single crochets worked in the back loop only, and you do increases on one side and decreases on the other to give it this diagonal look, and then you seam it up, and it creates this really cool diagonal cup cozy. So, this is what all my coworkers are getting for Christmas. I'm gonna get like tumblers, some kind of like maybe holiday themed tumblers, and I'm gonna make these little cup cozies, and that's what everybody's getting because it's an easy gift, and I can kind of customize it based on colors for people. So that's what's going to be happening. Really simple project. I saved it in my Ravelry library because I think if you want to make it, it's a really, really simple crochet project. It's like 24 rows. Let me get there. Oh, everybody wants to talk to me. Sorry, I'm busy. Okay, library. Yes, here we go. It is called the Crooked Coffee Cozy. Well, you're not going to be able to see that. Okay, I will put a link for this in the video description box below if you're interested. It's called the Crooked Coffee Cozy by Danielle Pink. I think I've done some of her patterns before. Very, very cute pattern. Definitely, if you're a beginner crocheter, this is a great little project for you to do. So check that out. The second is the first of my 2 large projects that I have finished, and I'm so excited. Once Duke gets his head off of it. Look, 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 look. I finished the sweater. I finished it. I finished that. Oh my gosh. It's so cute. Okay, so like I said in my last podcast, it is a little tiny. It's a little small. But only ever so slightly. Like so slightly too small. Like if I maybe decided to kick myself in gear and exercise a little bit more than I have been, I could probably fit into it. I just haven't done that yet. Anyway, it has been through a wash and dry cycle, which is what I do with all of my acrylic projects. It really softens up the yarn and helps loosen everything out and even it up. This is knit, the main body here, which kind of looks like Fair Isle work. This is knit in Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. And somebody asked me what the colorway was, and I had looked it up, and I was going to remember what it was, but now I have forgotten. Oh, crap. You can still find it. It is still at Hobby Lobby. It's an active colorway that they do. It's in the prints. It's in I Love This Yarn prints, and it's like Painted Desert or Desert something or I don't know, one of those. But it's a really distinct colorway. You'll notice if you go into Hobby Lobby, you'll see it. That's if you are someone who still patrons Hobby Lobby. If not, it's still a very, very pretty colorway. The sleeves here are actually done in Red Heart Super Saver, but it's a Tweedy Red Heart Super Saver, and I've never seen that before. So I thought that was interesting, and I actually can't find any more of it anywhere. So that's what I did for the sleeves. And yeah, it's just, it's beautiful. It's perfect. I love it. I have worn it a couple times. I've worn it to work, and it's just, it actually still smells great because it smells like the dryer sheet. Anyway, so this was knit on US 8 needles, and it is a pattern called the Incredible Custom Fit Top Down Raglan by Pamela Costello. I've mentioned the pattern a couple times. It's very much a math-oriented pattern. You find the needles and yarn you want to use, you do a gauge swatch, you plug in some math based on your measurements, and it'll tell you exactly how many stitches to cast on for your collar, and it'll walk you through the rest of the pattern. It's a great beginning pattern if you are beginning to get into designing sweaters, because then you can say, oh, I want to use this cable pattern, so then you do a gauge swatch based on the cable pattern. It's a really great basis for how do I make something that will fit based on the needles, yarn, and pattern that I want to use. So great pattern. I believe it's free on Ravelry as well. And oh, I am going to try to remember to be putting links for my patterns in the video description box below so that you can find those things if you are interested in them. I am really bad. I know a lot of people do like show notes, and I'm really bad about doing that. So it's something that it's a goal that I have, is try to remember to do show notes for you guys. So yeah, very cute. Very proud of this. So happy that it's done. And the last one is being used as a pillow. Y'all, I finished the Askews Me Dress sweater thing that I was going to make. I finished it. It's done. It is done. It is done. It is blocked. It is gorgeous. I made short sleeves. I love this so much. It is the first sweater I have ever knit in natural fibers, and on top of that, it is brioche. There are a couple of mistakes in here that I did not go back and fix, mainly because, one, I don't know how to fix brioche, and two, because there are a couple times where I think, you know, when I do go back and look at this, I can say, look how far I've come. So, like, somewhere down here in the front, there's a weird, where it's pulling, and I'm not going to take that out. I think this shows, like, look, I made this. It was difficult, and yeah, I messed up, but it is still gorgeous. I'm still in love with the final object. God, I just love that increase line that just goes down the front all the way to the bottom. It's absolutely gorgeous. The sleeves and the bottom are all I-cord bind off. And the yarns, the gray is Blue Moon Fiber Arts in a sport weight, and the insides are two different yarns that really don't have tags. Actually, I think this bottom one, this bottom inside purple one, I think it's a hand spun. I really think it's a hand spun, but it's a single ply. Both of the insides are worsted, so it creates this really open brioche, which is actually what I was going for. I really, really like this. I actually have enough yarn left over to probably make a second one of these. It did not use as much yarn as I thought it was going to use. To be fair, the Askews Me Dress is meant to go all the way to the ankles. I stopped where the back is about halfway down my butt. That's where I stopped. It does flare quite a bit, so it's very almost poncho-y with sleeves, and I'm not against it. It just takes a little getting used to wearing, because it's not as flattering as I would have liked it to be. But that's not going to stop me from wearing it. I did wear it out a couple times already. There may be some things I would have done differently, like maybe blocked my swatch instead of just going, oh yeah, no, that looks right. Because the superwash yarn spread out quite a bit when it blocked. So, which is the blue inside, the blue-green insides up here. That's a superwash yarn, and it blocked out quite a bit. The handspun didn't, which is also really interesting with blocking. Anyway, so yes, very, very, very happy with this. This was knit on US 9s, and this took me a few months, not as long as it could have, but it did take me a little bit of time. So yeah, very proud of this, very happy that it's done, and yeah, so I'll be moving on to the next thing. Those are all my finished objects. We are going to move on to some other Yarny-related news. So some other Yarny-related things, I gotta look at my notes because I want to make sure that I'm getting everything. Oh, okay. So the first thing is a new stash acquisition. This is from, put this down. This is from Desert Panda Fiber Arts. She's local to me. Her name is Kristen. We hang out every Friday at Mad Knitter's Yarn during our knit night. This is a beautiful, beautiful 2-ply sock yarn that I picked up at a craft fair she did. This colorway is called Prism, and I picked it up just because the colors are so vibrant and bam, in your face. If you follow me on Instagram, you have seen this on my Instagram. I took some a little bit more professional photos. Now that I'm learning more with my camera and playing with the settings and learning everything that I can do with the camera, I photograph everything. So if you want to see that, you can follow me on Instagram. And it's a gorgeous, gorgeous colorway. Oh, my dogs are going nuts. And anyway, just absolutely gorgeous. 2-ply sock yarn. It's 100% superwash merino, and it is 399 yards to 100 grams. No idea what I'm going to make this with, but I've always loved her dyeing, and I wanted to support her, so I bought this. I'll figure out something to do with this. Maybe a single skein project, or I'll throw it in. I really want to get into color work, so this may become some future color work ideas in the future. And how many times can I say the future? So yeah, Desert Panda Fiber Arts, you can actually check her out on Instagram as well. A lot of really cool things coming out of her shop. Oh, so in my own dyeing, so I did a holiday color sock set, mystery sock set, and those ship out well, I'm filming this on Sunday, so they will ship out on Tuesday. I don't know what day this podcast is going up, so they may be going out the day after this goes up or the day that this goes up. I don't know yet. So I was doing a colorway, and it was called Candy Cane Forest. It was like a nice tobacco brown on one end and like speckled red on the other end. So the second batch I was doing, the brown has a really, really bad color break. And if you don't know what color breaking is when, have you ever taken like a piece of paper and it's got marker on it, and then the paper gets wet and the color spreads out? That's called color breaking. And you can like see all of the colors that went into making the color in its final form. So the first batch I made, I dyed using one technique, and I didn't really like the way it had come out, or I didn't like the process, so I was like, well, I'll try this a different way. There are other ways that I've done this, and it should be fine. Oh my gosh, it wicked through the yarn, and the color broke so dramatically that it doesn't even look the same. The colorways don't even match. So this is what I was going for, and this is what I got. Like this weird neon, well, it's not neon, but this yellow just pulled right through and wicked up through the yarn. So these are going to get sold as misfits on the shop, and they're probably going to be something zombie related because they do kind of look like blood, and yeah, so it's probably going to be like a just kind of one-off Halloween color that I didn't intend on. So I learned a lesson about color breaking, and also about making sure that the technique that I'm using to dye yarn is conducive to the colors that I'm using and is not going to create an effect that I'm not after. But having now done this, now I know that if I do want that effect, I know what method to use to dye it. But that is not what I was after. So there's that. Okay, last little Yarny related thing is I am going to Stitches SoCal. I have been meaning to say that for the last 3 podcasts because I booked the flights back in June or something. So I am going to Stitches SoCal. If you are going to be at Stitches SoCal, let me know. I would love to meet you. I am not going as a designer or anything like that. I am just going to be there and have fun, and I don't know how much shopping I'm going to be able to do, but I am going to be there, and just there to take it all in. So if you are going to Stitches SoCal, let me know. I would love to meet you if, well, if I have met you or if I haven't met you. I know Jennifer, you usually go, and there's a couple other people who live in the area who will probably be going, who I see regularly. So anyway, if you were going, let me know. Would love to meet you. I do plan to do some future traveling to other fiber events somewhere in the Midwest and the East Coast in the coming years, and by years I mean it's like in my 5-year plan, so keep up with that if you don't live on the West Coast. The other thing is that some of us at Mad Knitters are discussing the possibility of how much of that can I reveal? We would like to have an event, and it has been brought up, nothing has been discussed. Just kind of a like, we used to have them in Vegas and now we don't, so we've just been kind of reminiscing about, you know, if we were to have one again, what would it look like? I don't know if anything's going to come of it, but it's just kind of one of those things where we're like thinking about it. But if that ever happens, I'll let you know. So anyway, with that being said, let's move on to the giveaway. I know you guys are excited about that part. I'm excited to announce the winner. So let's get right over to that. Okay, so this week's giveaway, a reminder of what the prizes are. It is 2 skeins of Waikiwi yarn. These are 55% New Zealand merino, 20% nylon, 15% alpaca, and 10% possum. I have made socks out of this exact colorway before, but these 2 skeins are going to go to the lucky winner. They're both 50-gram skeins. They're absolutely gorgeous to work with. I know the winner is going to love these. And with that being said, The winner is Leanne Stearns. Leanne Stearns, you are the winner. I'll put that down here so we can see the spelling. Leanne Stearns, you are the winner. Congratulations. Please email me your mailing address at sparguryarnco@gmail.com. That email is in the video description box below, but sparguryarnco@gmail.com. Email me your mailing address so that I can get these out to you as soon as possible. So congratulations again, Leanne Stearns. I know that you are absolutely going to love these. So that brings us to this week's item for giveaway, and that is this gorgeous skein of Madeline Tosh in the TML Lights base, I believe. 90% merino, 8% acrylic, 2% stellina, fingering weight of 420 yards. It is a #1 yarn. It is a single ply, and the colorway is Blinkin' Beacon. Gorgeous, gorgeous colorway. It's one of their holiday colors from last year. Now, this is a big deal because as far as I understand, Mad Tosh is closing. I believe that she has a diagnosis of MS, or multiple sclerosis, if you're not familiar with MS. And our understanding is that she listed all of her yarn to price to move and to leave, and that they are done. So that is my understanding. So Mad Tosh, unless something has changed, my understanding is they will no longer be in business. So that's why I want to give this away, because I don't know if you'll ever be able to find it without having to ask people if it's in their stash. So Mad Tosh Blinkin' Beacon from the 2018 holiday collection. That is what is up for the giveaway this week. And to win this skein, please tell me in the comments what your favorite animal is, and if your favorite animal is also your pet. Because I know some people's favorite animal is not, like, you can't own it as a pet, but like, my favorite animal is actually a lemur. I love lemurs ever since I was obsessed with the TV show Zaboomafoo. So I've been obsessed with lemurs pretty much ever since. It's not like I do any like hardcore research or collect figurines or anything, but they're just, I really love the animals. There's so many of them, and of course it's the fun little creatures from the Madagascar movies. So I love lemurs, and so no, I don't have them as pets, but of course I have Princess and Duchess and now Duke as my pets. So that's my favorite animal. So let me know in the comments what your favorite animal is, and if that favorite animal is also your pet, and then on the next podcast we will pick the winner. So that is everything I have for you for this podcast this week. Thank you so much for your patience. I know I was a little late getting it up, but there were a lot of things kind of going on this past week. But thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and share it with your friends if you have friends who are looking for new or other podcasts to watch. I definitely enjoy having more community here on this channel. So thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, evening, and week to 2 weeks. And I will see you again very soon here on the oh, excuse me. Whew, we are going back to the old name. I will see you again here on the Spargur Yarn Crafts podcast channel. Thanks. Bye.